won! We won! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! We demand human rights! We demand human rights! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! Release all political prisoners! Release all political prisoners! Release all political prisoners! We won! We won! We won! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to!
More Chinese government! Release all the political prisoners! Release all the political prisoners! We demand! We demand! We demand! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! We demand human rights! We demand human rights! We demand human rights! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! We want justice!
Ta tiri nga zo ge zere tengo zuya yin tende ndi shitang china zere te zuya ngo zuya ten chuse chi chi gi thul re te yimba na ta nga ran so thoma nyong zan ra ma te bi chen gi chuse chi chi do she sa chi cha chan do tende re ta tiri la pa te nga ran so peri pada sani sata rimbo ni phe yong ke ani benja do pere si tende ge phe yore ngone ta ni ka wa che se nga wa ta lang gi thoni tirin dal nga ran so gi chi pe pi ka du te ngo hi ta to thoni phe yong wa te ngone ni tha pa ni ka de che se kya yin thoma te la ani tere ta chuse chichi de ta shegil ta Geneva anyon de jansu ndanthon te la ani nga ran so peri pada cha son lenzam no ji ge ani zere ji te re se kya yin.
Dear friends, we would like to start the program of today. On behalf of Tibetan community in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, we would like to thank all our brothers and sisters who have come from Belgium and France to unite with Tibetans in Switzerland during this time. Now, we are late by half an hour due to some other technical reasons, but we apologize for that. And before we go through our program, I would like to read the program timing details so that speakers who have to speak can get ready. Immediately after the national anthem, there would be a minute of silence, then there will be welcome speech by President of TCSL, then there would be reading out of the memorandum, slogan shouting. Later, there will be 12:30. There will be speech by Mr. Chimi Rinzila, representative Tibet office. At 13:20, there would be speech by Mr. Dokun Isa from Uyghur Association. At 13:30, there would be speech by Joshua Cooper. At 13:40, speech from President Tibetan Community in France. And after this, there would be speech from the representative of Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association. Then there would be speech at 1400 hours by Vice President of the Tibetan Women's Association. Then there would be speech after the President Tibetan Community in Belgium, slogan shouting, etc. So we would like all our Tibetan brothers and sisters to sing our national anthem.
Oh yeah, ani tati gil ngaron so gani pe jaka chembe gi jala ani somik ken thoze chene ani toro se khai Veni te sampe no
Benaba de notre gâché dans le cœur Chile que l'autre doje kamso deme chove kamse sho nande kawadyansu ubakulare pösa de shemadaye pöja chuga sanje chula de chizo de sabekya
Nani ngaron ta shuddu nyanyu chengani jaka yugu gani koron ji jalachi tene jindai sevnde.
Now, our friends, Uyghur people would like to sing the national anthem.
Oh ya, ani ti ji selangaran sokata pe jaka to meri cita da cice ani rong ani chip ga ani seso rong mese tangke nambi ga ni jaci pawat pawan namba ki che talani kamachila ani nyange ngoje tende chikundu khai.
Now we would like to ask for 1 minute of silence in honor of our fellow countrymen who had sacrificed their lives and livelihood for our cause.
tuji che ani tanyang kun de tbai ani ti jisla ngaron cho suston le ten se tan ji peru mamo gi chocho ani chonda no blog ani tata ginje ko ani tangke noi
Now I would like to invite Mr. Tsamdanobu, President of Tibetan Community in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, for a welcome speech.
반대 랑숑 고잡 튼주 공고 치미린즈라 죄배 필리핀다 용라 참지 다시텔레 쉬워다 당부대에디 까묘 고마종에데 단다팀 잡대 미마만 거지 도스 카톤데 쇼샤데 상마 손님도 배로나 데 잡도 도스 판바디 따대가스데 데르대가스데 토르당가 배요 말에 제산데 냠도 소쇼나 야보도와 소님도 쇼로나 쉐이 근데 바로도 양직 제도와 가서 산되나에다 된데 용거래 데려가서 양직에 말흘려진 쇼에다 되는 용거와 제산 근데 님도 쇼로나 가서때 미 가서 예와데 가서때 님도 레그이드 나토나 야보도와 제직에 토르 나와도 제바나 야구문도 쉐이 되네 가서때 좀 나야디 냠제 계속 좀이 톱다 천족이 초전탱 10년이 단단하시머래 딘데기 투주다 뒤인체 맞대 편하기 좀이 톱다 할 레벨 교차요래 답베때 지신 지도도 쉬어야되래 다 딘데 차제 딘데기 내단디 맞대 무투 매백이 남주되어야지다 한단데 추수니발라 냠제 계속 조미 톱당기 현족이 고삽 넘어서다 제제 가서야 슈도 부여지유 제장들데 맞대 뭐그 나이지다 추수니발네 슈도 부여제제 레그 디나라 냠쇼냐말라 나부터 삼말라 제수 이란다 투제 슈구유 미세기데 데리 프랑스다 벨지엄네 필리핀다 소데 냠쇼나 요레 단다디 벨지엄기 바스직 단다데 조민도 단데 코라스 패신 바갑스레시아 단다 프랑스 케베제 단다 조여서 말해 다 조부 코라스 데 피기유 제산데 다야데 데리데 상마야 동바이나 미스 숨장압주 십자지 강수대 최바슈구유 딘데기 돈에 딘데 망고시라 좀 나샤한테 투체나 민생 알았을 때 수스팀바이나 딘데 진짜 구베나 좀 나이래 안디 로직나라다 진짜 숨바 투바 구와체제 냠제 계속 기 도미 돕다 현소 기 총도 답답된 제가서 때 답을 좀 남겨요래 남아서데 들이 고니 제와 가부총수 안디 도스마 데르마테 용도니 망아도 어디티 남기 팽에 소리샤 남아서 믹스기 투체나 슈에이 다르디 벨지엄다 프랑스 크로스데 냠쇼나이디 진데케베 세버 숨치 소지다 진데쿠베 로세 단데 프랑스 크로스 페스 투샤 아니 프랑스 사다다 믹스에 단데 벨지엄다 프랑스 이번에 사다를 모시거든 수페 제데 레구디 계지 던지질 지제 냠쇼나오데 맞대 디조 스위스 리더스탄 프리미마 디조단 코디나게 기 잡슈데 닝타보는 도시 슈에이 제산데 프랑스다 벨지엄 크로스데 드리데 냠쇼나이디 진더 게베 체버 숨소지다 진더 고베 체버 찍니모데 유럽 단다 프리 초박하기 초선남백이 총도값도 감면 조전 들때 도스냠쇼나이디 딘데시 총레스 슈에이 다든데 게 표현의 슈에데 참조 슈기 다 표현의 망고 슈데바나 믹스 튼다치에스카 통마송 디 넘버서다 표현 내단 등 알아서기 야고 신경 보존상에 대 인지나 책니 스타디 슈에 Respected Kongo Chimirinzala representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration, respected Mrs. Sring Chambala, Director of International Campaign for Tibet, Europe, respected Mr. Isan Dolkun, President of the World Uyghur Congress and Vice President of the Unrepresented People's Organization, respected Mr. Joshua Cooper, academic, advocate, author, and human rights activist in Hawaii, respected Mr. Jacques Arnold, activist and member of Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association, Section Romanti, respected Mrs. Nonzomla, Vice President of the Tibetan Women's Association, Switzerland, presidents of Tibetan communities in France and Belgium, my dear fellow sisters and brothers. We, the Tibetans in Switzerland and Liechtenstein, France and Belgium, have gathered here today in front of the United Nations to express our deepest concern over the critical human rights situation in Tibet. This protest rally happens in the backdrop of the 42nd session of the Human Rights Council. The Human Rights Council is an international, intergovernmental body within the United Nations system made up of 47 states responsible for the promotion and protection of all human rights around the globe. Resolving Tibet issue will set an unprecedented example in human history for resolving conflicts in a human way, that is, in a peaceful, non-violent, and through dialogue and mutual respect. As we are all aware that the human rights situation in Tibet is very critical, I will not go into details, as these details are mentioned in our appeal letter, which will be read here later. The human rights situation in Tibet could be summarized by the 153 self-immolations in Tibet. The Freedom House ranks Tibet as the second least free country in the world, next only to Syria, for the last 3 consecutive years. Even North Korea is a more free country than Tibet as per Freedom House ranking. Despite all these difficult circumstances and critical human rights conditions, Tibetans have never given up their faith in the strength of non-violence and truth. Our spiritual leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, has guided us through these difficult times and preached us not to lose our compassion and patience. Unfortunately, China is now nervous about His Holiness' reincarnation and started their naive preparation to determine the next Dalai Lama. This direct interference in Tibetan people's belief is a blunder and will make the Tibet issue more complex and chaotic. Tibetans and Dalai Lamas are inseparable. For us, he is the manifestation of charity, the Buddha of compassion. He will continue to guide us and bless us through many aeons. Hence, any effort by the Chinese Communist government to determine the next Dalai Lama will be useless. Your silence on the Tibet issue does not reflect the real human rights situation in Tibet. We therefore urge the United Nations High Commission and the international community to urgently engage with People's Republic of China in ensuring China abides by the international human rights standards. The critical human rights situation in Tibet needs to be resolved immediately. On a longer term, we request you to actively engage with China in resuming genuine dialogue with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and for that matter, with his representatives. We remind you once again that resolving Tibet issue will set an unprecedented example in human history for resolving conflicts in a human way, that is, in a peaceful, non-violent, and through dialogue and mutual respect. Our Uyghur brothers and sisters are going through the same critical condition. We urge the United Nations and the free world to resolve the Uyghur issue urgently. Last but not least, may His Holiness the Dalai Lama live long. May his teachings of non-violence and compassion bless this world. Thank you all for attending this important event.
Today, very mama chozo chonda nobla gani tanghen wala ani tuji che se kya ta ani ti ji sela ngaran chokita nyamde janchu gon ro mi toto lensu ji genz ge chula ani imbuj hitu ge shoti te ani ma jalu no ya tere ani te naro se kya.
Thank you, Soso Nubla. Now I would like to read the Memorandum of Appeal to the United High Commissioner for Human Rights. 20th September 2019, Geneva. Ms. Michelle Bachelet, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Geneva. Your Excellency, on behalf of Europe Tibetan Community in Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Belgium, and France, foremostly, we would like to congratulate you for successfully completing a year since you assumed the mandate. In these past 12 years, the Office of High Commissioner has undertaken significant initiatives in different areas for advocating the human rights. Meanwhile, as articulated in the ongoing 42nd UN Human Rights Council session, the year has not been an easy one. We would like to thank you for all your human rights protection works that the Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights has been doing under your leadership. As Excellency completed the first year of mandate, the deteriorating human rights situation in Tibet call us to urge for your attention. Despite 6 decades of human rights violations in Tibet with impunity, Tibetans have not given up looking upon the work and mandate of High Commissioner with confidence that the suppressed voices of Tibetans will soon be heeded. Your voice is crucial. Your attention on deteriorating situation in Tibet is critical more than ever. Your Excellency, since 2009, at least 153 Tibetans have taken drastic act of self-immolation protest calling for freedom of Tibet and return of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Tibet, of which 131 died on the protest scene or shortly thereafter. No information is available about the remaining 22 self-immolators. Tibetan people's unique identity that is strongly interconnected with Tibetan language, culture based on Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, religion, science are facing new wave of repression. Today, nearly half of Larunggar and Yachinkar, world's largest Buddhist learning centers that housed more than 10,000 Tibetan Buddhist practitioners, are razed to the ground. Just this summer, the Chinese authorities in the Kharsa Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture evicted about 7,000 nuns and monks at Yachinkar. Earlier, about 5,000 Tibetan monks and nuns in Larunggar were evicted and their houses destroyed. The well-being and whereabouts of evicted monks and nuns are unknown. That cause a great concern to us. Tibetan lay Buddhist practitioners also continue to face restrictions. Chinese authorities have banned all retired Tibetan officials from performing Kora, a Tibetan spiritual practice, a sacred site where reciting Buddhist prayers. Furthermore, the authorities also prohibited Tibetan students from partaking in any religious festivities, particularly during Sagatava, the holiest Tibetan Buddhist month. Tibetan parents were also made to sign an agreement pledging that they will not allow their children to take part in religious events during school breaks. This bans even visiting Tibetan temples and monasteries. Your Excellency, despite China flattering its claim of development and contribution in promotion and protection of human rights, we would like to call on your attention to assess the other edge of development, negative practices while enforcing state-led development projects without active, free and fair participation of local residents. The experiences and challenges faced by Tibetan nomads who were removed from their ancestral land and relocated to new socialist countryside demonstrated not only the negative practices of development, but also raises concern over unprecedented new social issues in Tibetan community, including alcoholism, prostitution, and children engaging in petty crimes due to lack of jobs and educational opportunities in the relocated areas. We would like to respectfully urge your mandate to constructively engage with People's Republic of China in ensuring China abides international human rights standards, critically assess the impact of development projects, and call on China to undertake human rights-based developments. We call on China to stop demolitions and eviction of Larungar and Yajinkar monks and nuns. Ask about the well-being and whereabouts of evicted monks and nuns. We call upon China to facilitate unfettered access to Tibetan areas. We actively encourage China in resumption of dialogue with the representatives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Yours sincerely, signed by Tsamda Norbu, President of TCSL, Phuntsok Chongchamba, Vice President of TCSL. Thank you.
Kama chishila tujiche ani hituga shari te jalo noala ani tiji sala ani kembe nonji kama chela reja ani tinde inde chomi ani cha chwo ywa da ke te che te ne ani kembe noros khya ai tujiche
Release all political prisoners. Release all political prisoners. Release all political prisoners. We want. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to.
Long live! Long live! Long live! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama. Shame on Chinese government. Shame on Chinese government. United Nations. United Nations. We want justice. We want justice. Release all the political prisoners. Release all the political prisoners. Release all the political prisoners. We want. We want. We want. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to. We demand human rights. We demand human rights. Tibet is burning.
아니 상거사라 잘로 노야래자 아니 페요.
Thank you for the slogans. Now I would like to read the press release. Geneva, 20 September 2019. Today, members of the Tibetan community in Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Belgium, France are gathered in front of Palais des Nations in protest against China's continued human rights violations with impunity. Several members of the Uyghur community in Switzerland and Germany have also joined. The demonstration also aims to call for UN High Commissioner for Human Rights attention and intervention to China's relentless suppression of Tibetans, Uyghur, and Hong Kongers. Over the years, the Chinese government has heightened its systematic efforts to crack down on Tibetans in Tibet and to destroy Tibetans' traditional culture, language, and identity. Any acts of peaceful expression of cultural and religious identity of Tibetans are illegal and subjected to severe consequences. The Chinese government's heavy-handed policies in Tibet continue despite the Tibetan people's repeated show of defiance and demand for rights for the past 6 decades. Since 2009, at least 153 Tibetans have resorted to drastic act of self-immolation protests calling for freedom of Tibet and return of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Tibet, of which 131 Tibetans died on the scene or shortly thereafter. No information is available about the remaining 22 self-immolators. The Tibetan people's unique identity that's strongly connected with Tibetan language and culture based on Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, religion, science are facing a new level of repression. Nearly half of Larungar and Yachingar, world's largest Buddhist learning centers that housed more than 10,000 Tibetan Buddhist practitioners in each, are razed to the ground. We call on UN Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights to effectively engage with China in ensuring China abides by the international human rights standards and urge China to give unfettered access to Tibet and East Turkestan. Thank you.
투지체 까마치실라 아니 티지슬라 아니 아리니 임비 아니 로아미 토통 콜 아니 샬레 논든 케게 아니 조슈아 코퍼 아니 티니 마탄히즈노 아렌드 아니 콤페오르스케.
Now, we would like to invite Mr. Joshua Cooper to give us a speech. In the meantime, I would like to read a brief biography of Mr. Joshua Cooper. Mr. Joshua Cooper is an academic, advocate, author, analyst, and human rights activist based in Hawaii. Joshua has crafted, coordinated 4 dozens of courses in political science, journalism, and peace studies at the University of Hawaii. Mr. Cooper also offers instruction for the University of New South Wales Diplomacy Training Program covering international human rights law, business and human rights, climate justice and sustainable development, indigenous people's struggle for self-determination, and traditional social media strategy for social change. Mr. Joshua Cooper taught for 20 years and was principal facilitator and is currently Dean of Research at the International Training Center for Teaching Peace and Human Rights in Geneva and Dean of INES, International Human and People's Rights in Vienna, Austria. Mr. Joshua Cooper.
All right. Hey, long live! Long live! Long live! Release! 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 Aloha, namaste. So good to be with you today. It's exciting. Woo! Give yourself a round of applause for exercising your human rights and telling the world the truth. Love you. And so it's great to be here. I remember starting out as a college student with Students for a Free Tibet. And now we're here at the UN as advocates to make sure that the world lives up to its obligations. It's exciting that you're here because every time the Human Rights Council meets, you need to be here to tell the world what's happening. Because what happened to Tibet could happen to all the other people around the world if they don't wake up. And more importantly, your spiritual beliefs and your values is what the world needs now more than ever. The world is lost in so many ways, and what you say and how you live can decide the way of where we need to go on many issues relating to climate, relating to social justice, relating to how we treat one another. So it's great that you're here, and hopefully this is the right size for the mic. I just want to talk to you about a couple of things. First and foremost, the Human Rights Council session is important because the High Commissioner for Human Rights has just been in her job for 1 year, Michelle Bachelet, and we need to make sure that she has access to be able to go into China and be able to point out what is going on, to be able to speak truth to power. And she's a good advocate because her entire experience has been as an advocate surviving a totalitarian regime as well. So she should understand it, but we have to put polite moral pressure. The other important aspect is all the special procedures. If you look at all the special procedures that exist, the special rapporteurs, the working groups, the independent experts, they should visit Tibet because all those human rights violations are taking place there. And they would be able to at least then support what you already know and what you're doing as well. Some of those rapporteurs, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, all those are the important issues, as well as Special Rapporteur on Human Rights and the Environment. All this is what we need to share and tell the world. The other important one is just even specific small examples. There's a Special Rapporteur on the right to housing. We put in her report focusing on nomads, because what's going on is the way that China's rapacious appetite for the natural resources is denying the human dignity of all the people. And that's what they're trying to do when they put the nomads into a place. It's not for their benefit. It's just to get them off the land so they can drill and take those resources. And so I think what we can do as Tibetans and what we can do as Tibet to link with all the other human rights movements is say what happens to Tibet now happens to you in the future. Link it to the Belt Road Initiative. Because the one thing is anytime they go to a new place, people like them less. So the more money they spend and they go with these Belt Road initiatives to supposedly help those people, everyone sees through the lies, and the people there like them less and want them to leave sooner. So we need to coordinate a network from Tibet as the source of where many of these violations take place, all the way to Vanuatu, all the way to the Pacific where I live, because you can see China going there, and it's not to help, it's not to develop. It's to then, of course, exploit and take the resources of the people for their own economic gains. So we think people will know, and the message you share, once you speak, everyone knows exactly what you're talking about because they're experiencing the same thing. So please continue speaking up, continue coming to rallies, keep up with what happens at the UN here, but also what happens on the issue of climate change. Climate change is so important because you know, I was fortunate enough to visit Dharamsala, and I've also been to Lhasa, and you're there. You're up there, it's the third pole. And anything that impacts you there impacts all the other indigenous peoples as well. I help with the Khmer Krom people, and they're in the Mekong Delta. And if the glaciers melt, and if that's polluted, that impacts everyone else downriver, and you're at the top. So today Tibet, tomorrow you is the message we have to share with everyone around the world, that if you don't care about Tibet, it could happen to you next. But more importantly, I think the values and the vision of what you share for the world and what you've embodied is very important. And also to be in Dharamsala and to be with your parliament and to see civil society and parliament working together, we have to have that kind of dynamic, because right now the world is hurting because of the dictators and the despots, and we've got to show that democracy, justice, peace, freedom is what we care about. So when I say peace, you say freedom. Peace! Freedom! Peace! Freedom! Peace! Freedom! Woo! So, all right, what we're going to do, the last thing that I want to say, though, is we need to move forward together, and on climate change, not forget and stand up, because we know that we can save this planet and we can save humanity, and we can do it only united. So we must unite together to change this world, and it's been an honor to work with you. And the exciting part is also looking at the Uyghur case. We were able to make sure that the world found out about that, and the world must know, and we must take action. The other side is, if we the people, which is what the UN Charter says, we the peoples, if we don't organize, the weakest part of the UN is its members, the states. They don't do enough. So we must demand the states where we all live to do more to hold China accountable. And the other side is, we have to promote multilateralism. At the same time, we have to make sure that China does not weaken the UN system. Right now, they're systematically donating funds and putting pressure whenever a special rapporteur or the UN does something that we want. And we have to stand up and support those mechanisms to make sure that they can do their mandates, and make sure that we can make sure that the human rights of Tibetan people and all people around the world are not infringed upon and weakened. And I know we can do that because we stand together. Freedom! Freedom! Long live! Long live! Mahalo. Thank you so much.
Mr. Josh Colfer, thank you so much. Tiniti Gisela Sus Consultant Chencho, and a Chimerin Chogani Tankino Areja, and in Chimerin Payors.
Mr. Joshua, thank you very much for your very impactful, motivating speech. Now I would like to invite Mr. Chimirinzila, representative of Office Tibet in Geneva, for his speech. Thank you.
Diri duzum su jobe serja miman lenji changma la chamji interest le shwe yin changme ge khense re tangi de shwe de peche de nima khashe na la jeso na la ne dang gar chung yime ge di number so khense ge chedu nyindri chuna tenson khense ta an jeso theng shipju sheni ba ani balam yidon chugu ge daw ge be che gun go chu che ne ani taring ge che nishu chab dyun la ya ani ju tiya ge re tiring ge ani che nishu ge nimodela ani de jesu ge dyundang la zom che che ne goti di dabuchi ge ani naya dila ana suistan lectensian ge miman chozo rebodan junle ta chome same ge ani genki je kulujun be ge any devuchi rest ne shuai any then davege ro mi thapdan dan devi kempe dunzup chi logic na la tanda gondu chotu ge sumbanan shin re thengsum cho nang gi ware che chan di devuchi ge gokap di jeji ki dundang nang la dunzum che ne dingja chenpo dindi nang la nganzu ki ngokab lang tuya de nganzu de Europe nal de ni ki puri mimang tang lakbar du eni de ya Swiss nang lekden shen ki mimang ki eni ngokab di lang che ne eni kempi shuya re beta toya re dempe ki beta toya re di gugab de ngaran so la mato dingja dindi ki chenpo di ngaran so suchik la khakura chi yo re jesan di nganzu changme ki eni kadu yimba ina ki the rabu chi ki matempa che di nganzu gugab yins di pyu mimang ki shabdi shugu jawarambu chi ki ani nganzu gongpa dubgu yos jachi mimang ki tuesa nganzu la res tuesa di nganzu ki dubgu yos che chene gaga toto kaan ne ani chashe lang ne ani di lengkin druba ina nganzu changmai ki ani lendun drubi ki ngunzi chi shugu yo ani talen di nang la kap di jeso tang drebi ki nisu nyingdu chi shuba ina peche ledom sorab chi chagi du ina ki nambazu khenpa yu na yakbu yore chine tengi du che zang talen ki tse chungyi ki nyimu de la dunju likung ki ngotik che ne eni jig danda zubdun yarje dang torshi ki jushi to la surzo chi gongzo che yore di nang la kama nyi sigi ring la nganzu ki jezo nang la jezo ki mimang to de sha chondu yosa de ba la kama nyi ki ring la ani ma nganzu ki dedu shutu che dang dezu nyentun che tu ba chung yore di nang la ani daga nang shin ki daga nimo rang nang la ani doa mi topdang ki mixi chabshi chokchung ki ene mimang ki ngundu tar chukchun chung yume ki cheshib nabi ki nyento nang la pyo nang la jana shung ki chukchun kari che yo bay na pyo mi ki che du chukchun che ba mayin bi ki di thola nishu ane tuen nang mindu che che ne di thola nganzu ki ane tanda chidi ne leji ji pe yore di ki ane tanda nganzu jesu ki nang lo rang la yang nganzu du shudu che tu ba ki chung yore eni daga nanshin ki daga ge tse chudu ki nimula larya ngaranzo rangi tanda de leje deyu eni tanda kendin somo ki eni jeso nang la tanda civil and political and cultural right ki jushi ki thola tanda nganzo pyuki ki shobene chimang dang chepsi rishung sung jobje ji thopdang ki thola eni saji di thona la kamani se kamen nayagi gugap sumba de nganzo legun rangi tu sine shejene ani nizuchi chungyore tini daga nanshin ki tse tazi chukchi daga rana la ani jeji bindu lingyu sokpa tanda nganzu shuya di International Campaign for Tibet sigirwa di gi yenla genzi kai la ge ani tanda arbitrary detention sigire di nang la pe nang gi pemi mangbu shi zenu kangjung jusung chebe kordang ane lar yang daga digi joshi to la kama nyi dang yang daga rangi nimo la ane gogam nipa chi shuye chene ane enforced disappearance siya ge joshi ki to la nganzu pyoge shubhe na garson chame ki joshi ki to la ane kama nyi chebe ge toling teng nyi du chene shetuba ge nizu chung yore chene shuya yin ane daga nanshin ge Sechubdi Nimodala International Service for Human Rights Yagi Sokpa Jeji Doa Mi Topdang ki Shepshu Khang ne Pyoedang Yugur Hong Kong Chegi Netang Kola Surzo ene Dendang Dempachi ene Konso Shutuba Chung Yore Daga ki Sechubji ki Nyen la Netherlands ki Jeji Pyoedang Lekung Legul Khang ki Genzin Lero Krista Seage Krista Lage Pena Droy Mi Toptan Deshi Koro Kamachi na Cheka Kola and Yindi Shubigi Nizudusin Chung Yore Tini Daga Nanshingi Ari Kuzab Dunju Gi Tewa Chumbi Tone Talengi Nishu Zagu Sabachurgu Nimodela China Aid Association se di na la ginzi ani bob fu se gi ani jeshi di briefing modern day persecution in China se gi jeshi thola surso shi goti na we nang la ani ngaran chu phebi gi thone chapsu chomba golo jingmi dang ani khonggi keju na ya di ani nga chu tanda leje kentin somo ni gi nyamshu chetuba gi ni chu duksine chungyore tini dagarang gi nimu gi chechugu nimu de la Christian solidarity gi tanda gi ani solidarity worldwide se di gi chokbe gi yugur da pe jari phalonggo nyamlen pache la ani chode rawan ani thola ani kangi dan tamra yobe gi nisu digi de chacha surcho di thola ani rolling shuya gi ta ani dus nisu chung yore kangtar yan dor du bai na talen digi jeji gi ro mi ta mi gi thoptan theng shipju shini gi thola shubi changma ani nganjo shungre dan shungre membe gi ani changme gi nyamru nawala te ne ledu kala ganjam chi ani danda dresog phage ge jesog nanglo la ani ngajo peda di ro thuba ta ani shutu thubi ge nizu kala ganjam chi chung yo se di ani de ngajo changma chogda ne pheba da number 2 ge dis kemba ina maung ba chashi na ya ta ani nanglo ngajo gang thup thup ge ne zu shutu che thuya chilo ne ngajo mimang zom ne peda shutu ya dindil kebe yo ba indi dindi this temperature anjunis ani chinang changmani yogu tubege ani dindi chi nang thuba na keme yore chene nge dindi chi shuba na number so thubin soyagi ti chedu shuba yi ani chawe ge tanda maung bandi da muthu ne dang dili shu cher da ya ge zo shungri min be choba kha da bedun jabju chokbe ge chene yobege 아니 초바 대다게 차실랑데 베든 랭롱 강망치 툭나 툭다 낭핀주 창매 천주냠디게 긴구르슉 체점 나로 셀치네 벽이슈에 간조다 벽비기 베든 토당 벽비기 아니 체네 키네 초바디 망부 12지와레 초바 장가 망부 12지레 간조다 간들 도신 장가 체용 별라 숨자 십장 앞자스틴디게 천 domne 도스요레 제잔 디게 창마게 간주 뉴버 뿡 트릭네 에네 네든 창마 루루 제네 제마투 베게 네든 테바인디 달렌디 네주 게 쳔보 딘데다 아니 냠디 자주게 딘다 소라보다 딘디기 딘라 아니 고갑 렌체네 간주 슈투바이나 에네 남주게 가나조 에네 파게 제갑 레중게 나로 당 아니 초바 수수게 ngo키네 아니 딘디 슈에디 임바이나 네버 총아 통 아니게 딘디 여반도 딘디 갑들랑 저 아니 숙체 수당 거야디 게 전부 도시네 에 달린 고갑 디 주네 아니 슌두 주 아니 나란초데 딜링구 데르버지기 페투비기 계산 가리 열세바이나 자비 랭긴 데르버지기 아니 찾아 우르르든디기 준투네 페투바이나 케벤 가리 열세나 베든디 아니 잠니 냠리 제조게 나라 스네 투비기 디텐데 케벤 열스리고레 가리스나 잠부 다 제캅 망부 나라 아니 슌지 아니 코란 속에 우티 딘디 창매게 슌지 딘디 체네 포줄 지기 여바인디 만주기 제지기 땡기 아니 페리디 속에 베든 콜라 신기 여샤샤 챙기 여샤샤 딘디기 제지네 샤바이나 디기 팽기 마레 간스나 강자도 신 주라지네 코라테 두고 여바인디 만주기 슈도데 무투네 제고야디 개천부 12절에 아니 디게 아니 든지 니바딜라 아니 간조 단다데 베나라 아니 나라서 브리핀다 디게데 뒤준드네 아니 베 강에 첨부 12지게 올라 아니 네데베 디게 창매게 아니 레와 동제 마침바체 아니 당한조 베차샤나 로테사 로샤사지 텐텐 두산베게 아니 게친제 요레스네 딘디지 슌디 중 아니 다가나시 상매게 nga세레 아니 로미 톱단 렌조 낭라 ene Jacob ki somi shibju sheje de gi ani khone talen dikap de la pedon len long chuni de EU gi shukchambu shibiji gi ani nanglo la ani kaso gore pedon thola len long chung song chene shua yi teni Europe tunzo gi nangla number 2 king goya la Europe tunzo chik gi songni chik gi songbare de inagi di nangla Jacob tade gi chala drang nishu sabji gi chune ani masung gi yoba indu 디게 아니 아주 숙청부지게 문진 제국 그래 튕겨 제갑 소소기 아니 보르도 테네 송니 디낭라 아니 페차스나 프랑스 기레 아니 저먼 레 체크 지든 제갑 레 디게 아니 베든 톨라 보르도 테네 아니 베든 페난게 도미 톱단데 아니 tor시다 아니 강게 첨부 예베게디 송나 베게니 수지 종송 tene yang Jacob kashi chigi tanda kongse EU gi ani sungbe nangshin di dilang anzu jabjur US chene tsawe gi pyo chene ming ma pyo ba yine gi ani EU gi sungba dila jabjur US chene gi Jacob di ani anzu pe cha shabe nge ming den shabe ne ke mindu tengi do Belgium re Slovenia re Luxembourg re Sweden re Netherlands re Ireland re digi and pyogi ming madung gi thone ani ngaran so jabju US chene EU gi khari jabju nang badila ngan so jabju US chene suya gi jagab dindi ji jongson seza digi de ledom rabu ji chagi do de ine gi dalen de pemnyin du zum chembo yin ban de nyen ri shuna ten jo dine dade ne gabla jagab pechewe gi jagab susu gi kebin zo zong che chene ene deba menege jananyamla penjugi twa maje ranji cheche ne ene cha debege negabla negab cha ye jang ene jekab mangbugi janagi ongshula migawege namju shukchambu je twendege ore nganzo pe chasina jekab ge tanda mission rere nangla chinchene dewa shubek abdullah dengi konjuge ge ene jamin se de dindi re siagi namju mindawadi shukchambu tengu ore inege tandege negabla ani Jacob sosuge langcho dang gogol te chene ani duksene tanda nyamde jaso debala sungjuya latis khagoraji chedeadi dusira kandar yanisu kan email mate pa nganjola ani dembe topje jarumbuchi uti chenju pimi gi trikzu de jabden la ani pyo jachi mimang gi jurwa mebe semshu digide yoba indu bedun la gawe ge jeji di thola ani tendun la gawe ge ani jeji ge bedun jeju chokba chelte ne namshi nganzo pyu ge denda de tenden segire la jami ge tu namya nganzo ge temba de naksup tang tuya mebe ge nechu de ngondi ge netu re se chene shuna mandi yo mare thingdu ine ge kabre ane lotsap che bege rangshin chigla tene buki shugu bege nizu chigdu di kharre sebena namju ngaranzo rawang jagap tu ane ye bege pimin nangchu ane chikam tongshi la gokorne made par rikpa tim goyagi tende nganzo ane ge chembu chi res chene thingi ye checha chawa pecha shena nganzo ge chembu chi yagi ledung ge chawa de sha sha ne ane yela thola thamne ene gengur mebege manzo khala khechechene kanju manju ge nizu shedeyaji yorba digidi dor dubai na nizu digidi traga nyindu ge truktam dang nangru ge khachun bebju de dela ani chudang cham yobaji chegu yore string yore manzo ge yin sheche ani ge makubaji chudang cham mebaje en takware she dushene nangru ge ani dige 펜도 강요 말에 제산 니 임바인디 소소소게 고르바데 나위기 sorba chegu요래 제산 니게 자위기 아니 뒤주당 아니 소소로 콤롱 유나 torma 판고사디 고사 torma 판고사데라 판고고요래 마도 페차시나 데샤라 샤지네 아니 lu nubla phangya dabota phangna dusche je phangbai na sosusu ki kangbai gangla sosu ki tari shubi ge sorabuji ma to Any pinto kan maybe ginetandi number 2 changma chingi yore tingi dil pinto kan yo mare tini chawe ge ngaran so khabor ding motion ba che chene any nangya de ke chembore tra dani motion ba khabor motion ba che chene any nangwe de ge chembu shibjire tingi 이네기 디나라 다른데 애ning 안조 미망 뒤좀당 딘디기 토라 슈게 조데 안조데 미망 데 차르제랑 겐큐 아니 차자루루 진이 디기디기 나중에 말 로지줄레 셰어레 요니라 때저 구샵 마요니딜라 아니 코 가야 메비게 레시아데 녜 슈에데 데용 차실랑 딘디기 만나니레 슈기메 제잔 딘디 낭고야 디기데 잡살라 포고고레 아니 마제비게 나딜라 아니 포기 마레 튕게 간주 미만도서 상마 짱고레 중보레 아니 네든 가바이네게 켄디게레 레송게 딘디 낭데니딜라 아니 게데 슈기 제당게 단 링보라지 차도도 아니 데 갑딜라 양자 슈고야 직 참메게 첸데바지레 베디 로지지 찬네 라왕 짱마 인장 진노 공사 장군 전부 초기 이시 인지지 공농도 바베 주르와메베 베자님이 오멜람데라 미망게 망메 위두 자체 세통비 잡주로 토 미망 지투 렌조지 시주텐라 파바니 송 라모마데 전주 비미 직주지 주르와메베 시주지 차여바 창메 tukja kwepe tensu shujuyi lingui cheta chungsum kandashi pewa inayang ome lamji sujula dokzi matheba nangro nanggoba ngechambore chene shudu chung teni yang gokap di june suistan lekden shen mimang namdang chokpa chidu kha ne jecho kap namin la niwa zeme charjin digar duzum ki lingul nyamshu nangshimbar ngakji chenpo shujuyi Tela namkun katu shuju tsumpe le dun tata jiniba sani tsokchungi junle dang zo yanga la ne genkur sheshin yopa jumin tuji che shuya yin jera to kapdir kazur tempa tsirin choki kulung to barsil bedun legun kangi genzin tsirin jamba la ne rodun nangde faransi ne chichu numkur chik nang mirang ngabju dang Belgium ni chiju numkuru ni nang mirang gubju tambache lingu di nang nyamshu nangwar gatsur ji rangshin dang chibe tadun la kechi tsine rangdun chesha chungjur ji dir pepne chashi langwar ning thakwa ne tuji ches chini shuyayi ani dela daga nangshin ge ani France dang ani Belgium ki beri chokbe ge chokzo ni ne 미망 공조 난줄 두긴 첨부 시에 나वर 인타버네 두지 제슈기 데라 아니 데네 안타롱게 두지 제슈 웨버기 아니 간조 망부여레 딜라 아니 체바나 하고 데다 창말라 아니 두지 제슈야 당 아니 데야 아니 간조 유고르기 미장 페제 숨지 소란지 도시네 코란조게 간조 데 아니 자침부 딘디치기 공소 제베가라 디냠보 냠슈 제베나 코란족의 레귤레게 아니 펜토 용사레 딜고갑제 나로 제스니 슈베인디 데는 안족이 안족을 강에 여바다 아니 안족이 슈고바나시 코란족라 여베인디 구갑 디냠보 도스니 퓨샤바이나 첸체네 다른데 코란족 안족 냠보 도스 냠슈 나야 디티레 도스레스니 슈야이 데네 단다데 nge namju kadu inage di shudu gyare ngaran chu ge bedung ge legu de pepe rang ge che gyare ene ngui tene mi shambale ne shutbya yo mare shune ge shuye ge chamse yo mare ane dalinde ngancho karsogore lege di dabu chi ja chimbo de karsogore chokbare shungde main bi ge thone kongzo chene ma to shu ma tu ge nesu ji re 아니 남중경 안쪽에 쉬어야돼 미래래게 아니 랭귀레레 세페 가리 중바이나 틴디 난고레스니 슈디거레 디난신 다른데 참수 쉬어라 takzang kunjo dang ani danda de misan ni ge nangmi dige pimi chido nyamnyu sia ge language ani chinda chungni ge ani tong chungni ge chinda chungni ge chejo jarum che ge sengda phibi ge nimone gozu ne dalen de pheche lo dyun si ge toya ge duju du cha de sha dila ani nganzu changme ge du se ne shingi yore chezan dige loju ring bu shibijire dinge shu mogo je Tirin de lengu dindi ki pibi ki midila ane nganzu ki changme ki ngunjin tubiya ki chedu te ane Koran rang la nguni mutu ne dige de ane jukjong nangro che ane dila mikpe te ne nganzu danda ki lengu pe tugi yobe nage dindi pe yade gechambu shibur chire ane dila nye ane nganzu chang danda legung re mimang re changme ki chab shu ne ane nying taba ne tuji ane lame du che chini shuwa yin Tini de seta chi shuya dila tanda Barcelona ki chitu tanda gen Europe chitu tanda gen wangchen Tupi wangchen la te ane jagab sumchu nang la Nima gupchu ki ringi korchu chi nang ki ware Te Swiss la peche tari sum shi nga stinti chigla peche korki yosa yo di nane nganzu ki shutu chesa de Ban, Geneva, Zurich sum chage ware kap didu la ani nganzu chokba re ani mimang re changme ki ani pepsu yaku shuya dan, tati yaku shuya dan, dungse nyamchi shuya dan digi sangma ani tanda de mimang ki tati shuru nang shuya yin di nane male bege mimang changme ki thala tempo re shindip nang thuba ina Dindi ki kange chunya di shida ki khakpo re samlo nal khor matubi ki ane dindi chi re che zan di la nganzu changme ki jabcho nanggo ya di gechambo re shene ane tarin kap di nala shu na ten suwa dini thadun di la ane larche siji tsukji jeti yongzo ji nga da kamsum chu ji jebo jikden shide debi pyo chi lake pakchu jikden wangchu mi namrol nambar rowa Pimi yongji kunjab dang utila na mepa chinur gongsa chamgun jawang kutung chushiba chenpo chok ki ramjam jawe sangsum malu pe shindin tada lunji drupde riu drunzin nipa potang chenpo potale tonga tekbe serji tripang tompor nga sul shude kutse shabe keljar keje bar tempar shuk sosobe mindu na che ane tashtele shuwe tochana
Suskansa tanjon chimerin chu kalon wala ani ni taba ni ka chese hiai tili ti ji sala ani kama chela yonja kembe tinte no ya rendo ani ti kama che no sa ji sala tata yogo wa kama nga chi khozo kembe no ya ko ka chi teru se te phure tein de tangaron zo kama chel te kembe no ro si hiai koronto mo jona ni sar
Mr. Chimirinjla, thank you very much for your speech. Now there will be slogan for 10 minutes for Tibetan people, followed by Uyghur people. They will also shout slogans. Thank you.
Justice! Release all political prisoners! Release all political prisoners! Release all political prisoners! We want! We want! We want! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Release, release! Release, release! Release, release! UNO! UNO! UNO!
Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Let the Dalai Lama! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Release all the political prisoners! Release all the political prisoners! Release all the political prisoners! Free Panchen Lama! Release all the political prisoners. We demand. We demand. Ladingala dialogue sunarona. We demand. We demand. We demand. United Nations. United Nations.
For Uyghurs. China is lying. People are dying. Racist China. Free our mothers. Free our fathers. Free our brothers and sisters. Thank you.
추초 도공 이자게 아니 코로나 쪽다 강가 그콜아니 당시치 노야렌데.
Thank you, dear brothers and sisters. Now we would like to invite Mr. Dolkun Issa. Mr. Dolkun Issa is the president of World Uyghur Congress and vice president of the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, UNPO. He is former student leader of the pro-democracy demonstrations in East Turkestan in 1988. After enduring persecution from the Chinese government, Mr. Issa fled China in 1994 and sought asylum in Europe and became a German citizen in 2006. Since fleeing China, Mr. Issa has dedicated his life to advocating for rights of the Uyghur people. Mr. Dolkun Issa has consistently advocated for the rights of the Uyghur people and has raised the issue in the United Nations, the institutions of the European Union, and in individual states and other international fora. Mr. Issa.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Aziz Şarkı Türkistanlık vatandaşlarım. Bugün biz bir yerde Tibetlikler bilen Birleşken Devletler Teşkilatı'nın Kişilik Hukuk Kengeyişi'nin 42. nöbetlik yığını bulavatkan binanın aldıda Tibet halkının, Uygur halkının hak hukukunu talep kılıp birlikte namayış kotimiz. Bu namayışımızga keçici uxlamay Germaniyadan, Şveysariyanın her qaysı joylaridan, Germaniyanın her qaysı joylaridan ve başka devletlerden kelgen qarindoshlarimiz va kelgen qadiminglar uchun ko'p rahmat. Cenab-ı Allah razı olsun, halkımız razı olsun. Biz Birleşken Devletler Teşkilatı'nın aldığı hazırgıça bir qancha qatim çoğun kichik namayışlarını qildik. Muşu ep bağan küreşlerimiz, muşu namayışlarımız ve dünyanın her qaysı yerlerde ep bir vatkan çoğun kichik faaliyetlerimiz neticesinde bugün Xitay hükümeti bu yalgancılığını insaniyet karşı işletip atkan bu besimlerini, bu kırgınçılıklarını yuşuranmaya var. Ötken hepti biz BDT'nin içinde yığınlar katlaştık. Xitay Uygurlarına gelip yüzün gücüyle, yüzünü koruş siyaseti bilen bütün yalgancılıklarını kılıp yüzden bu cinayetini fazlalaştırışvatkan bozumu ama bir yerlerden çenip kotudu. Bizim muşu köreşlerimiz bilen kampideki 3 milyondan artık insanımız çok azat oldu. Vatanımız azat oldu. Ama meğerdim ben bütün bu namayış gelenmeyken bizden anlavatkan bütün Şarkı Türkistanlık vatandaşlarımızga her zaman oygak duruşu, her zaman cesur buluşu, ümidini yok atmaslığı ve her zaman bu şundak faaliyetlerine aktif katılışına teşebbüs kılman. Rahmet. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Tibetan brother and sister, I would like to thank all who have joined this demonstration today, and particularly Tibet community for organizing this protest, and including Uyghur community. It is so important that we stand together in this critical time for all communities. We all here because current situation in China has become unbearable. Our brothers and sisters in East Turkestan and in Tibet are suffering incredible due to repressive action of the Chinese government. We are here today to demand that United Nations international community finally take action to stop the human rights violation being perpetrated by the Chinese government against millions of innocent people. What is happening in China is more serious than just separation. They are trying to destroy our identity by targeting everything that makes us unique, or language, or culture, or religious belief, history, and ethnic identity. Chinese Communist Party is attempting today totally assimilate Uyghur, Tibetan, and the other ethnic and religious group in China. As I speak, over the 3 million Uyghurs are being arbitrarily detained concentration camp today. Over the 3 million innocent people, or mother, father, brother, sister are missing. For almost 3 years, they are suffering and dying in the camp, and we as their family and friends living outside Turkestan are frustrated, desperate to save them. Their only crime was being born Uyghur and Tibet. What is happening to the Uyghur, to the Tibetan, and to other group and the peoples in China is a crime against humanity and atrocity. The United Nations and the international community have a responsibility to act, yet nothing substantial has been done to ease or suffering. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has repeatedly closed his eyes and pretends the situation does not exist to oppress the Chinese government. Instead of calling on the China respects its obligation under international law and stops this brilliant crime against humanity, many states and the United Nations officials have remained silent or have even endorsed the Chinese policies. We saw this against the summer as the Human Rights Council, where issued China arbitrary detention over 3 million innocent Uyghur and other Turk Muslims in the camp, which continues a crime against humanity. In July 2019, 23 countries as the United Nations top human rights bodies issued a joint statement urging China to end its mass arbitrary detention and the related violation against Uyghurs in China. In response, 37 states wrote a letter in response defending concentration camps and the Chinese repression of the Uyghurs. How have we reached the point where 37 states actively support and defend a crime against humanity in the United Nations? How is that most states are willing to defend this crime against humanity than speak out against the arbitrary detention of the millions of innocent peoples? Shameful! Muslim states have been practically guilty of oppression of China, despite facts that China is trying eradicated Islam among the Uyghur people and have described as an Islam ideological illness that must be eradicated. Many of the leaders have decided to value Chinese money over the human life and the human dignity. Our very existence as a distinct people is under critical threat. However, China's action poses a threat not just for Uyghurs, Tibetan, Hong Kong, Chinese Christian activists and the other group who bear the brunt of the Chinese Communist Party's violent repression. It will and already is having major negative impact on our international community, to our global security, and due to future of our international institution. China, a group of authoritarian states attempting to undermine concept of human rights in the UN and destroyed UN human rights system as it currently existed. They are attacking value formed on the foundation of international system. United Nations and the world leaders need to wake up, realize what is at stake. Otherwise, our world will be changed for the worse. The crime against humanity being perpetrated by the Chinese government have become a litmus test international community to human rights and democratic value. As a letter on the camp province this summer, so far we have filed miserable. The atrocity being perpetrated against Uyghurs, Tibet, and the million other is a historic tragedies. The response international community to this crisis will have reaching consequences for our collective futures. We believe in the future with human rights, freedom, democracy for Uyghur, Tibet, Taiwan, Chinese, and for all people. We urge United Nations, its member states, not to take this concept for the granted. They must stand up, defend human rights. UN and its member states must recall values and the principles that UN was founded on a hold China accountable. It is crime against humanity before it is too late. Thank you for attention. Free for Uyghur! Free for Uyghur! Stop genocide! Stop the genocide! Thank you.
Bonjour, vous parlez français un peu?
디지스라 자시 배달리 콩기 아니 여러 근gen즈 세린 샴발라가 네 텐데 까모치 나이렌데.
Thank you, Mr. Dolkunisa. Now I would like to invite Mrs. Sirin Chamba, Director of International Campaign for Tibet, Europe.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Geneva. Good afternoon, the members of the United Nations that is at the session at this moment as we stand here. On behalf of International Campaign for Tibet, a Tibetan human rights NGO, but I think as I stand here, I can also speak for hundreds of Tibet support groups around the world. As I stand here, what goes in my mind, just two things. I will not speak on the details of the human rights situation in Tibet, as many of the speakers before me have stated very clearly. But for me, there are two things. One, we are here for China. We are here, we have an issue with the United Nations. As I stand here, I also would like to take this opportunity to show our solidarity with the Uyghur people, the people of East Turkestan, who are in the same situation as Tibetans. For me, with the United Nations, because we are here today towards the end of the 42nd session of United Nations. What is the relationship between the United Nations and Tibet? In 1960, 1965, and 1966, and 1992, 4 former United Nations resolutions on Tibet has been passed. Now what has United Nations has done with these resolutions? My dear friends, nothing. Nothing at all. So today, as we stand here, I would like to express and urge the United Nations that it must take the ownership of these resolutions that it has promised Tibetan people to change the grave violation of human rights that is happening at this point in 1960 and now 2019. The country, the Tibet is close to the world. My dear friends, for me, and that is my key issue with China and with the United Nations and with the international community. When the Tibet is closed to the world, how can we continue to accept How can we continue to accept that 6 million Tibetans are suffering, but also they are suffering on daily basis? They're in a prison. The China is lying, has been lying in 60 years now. Until last year, China has been lying to the world about East Turkestan. Last year, with a report on East Turkestan, that 1.2 million East Turkestan people are arrested and put in a detention center, the world came to know what's happening in other side of East Turkestan. China lost its face. Now, as we know today, no one can go to Tibet. So why, if China has nothing to hide, if China is telling the truth to United Nations, that Tibetans are happy, that China has done so many development and respected all the human rights of Tibetan people, it is lying. And then we can say to China, if you have nothing to hide, open up the Tibet to world. Let the United Nations independent investigations team should be allowed. Let the international community just take the aeroplane and can go to Tibet, any part of the world. And that is our issue with China and United Nations. United Nations, as some of the speakers have mentioned earlier, I think it was Joshua, that there are United Nations special rapporteurs in different themes. Now, these special rapporteurs, they visit to different countries in the world and investigate human rights situation in those 192 United Nations member states. The last special rapporteur on human rights, especially on torture, Manfred Noah, was allowed to go to Tibet in 2008. Now today, 2019, 11 years ago, none of the United Nations special rapporteurs on religion, special rapporteurs on torture, special rapporteurs on arbitrary detention, all this, none of them have been able to visit Tibet. Why? We feel the United Nations must take its responsibility to pressure China that it cannot continue to lie, cannot continue to intimidate, they're intimidating even inside the United Nations. That is high time for the United Nations to take the ownership of its resolution and take action. And to China, in 1 week, as we know, the 1st of October is the foundation of Chinese Communist Party. At this point, the Xi Jinping must be really ready to celebrate the foundation of the Communist Party in China. Now, what has the Communist Party has brought to Tibetan people? It's only suffering and suffering, nothing else. Now, my dear friends, not only we stand here today, we must, in 1 week, 1st of October, please join us in the National Campaign for Tibet, World Uyghur Organization, and Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization were staging demonstration in EU in Brussels. Not only in the United Nations as we stand here, we must use all the platform that is available to us to make sure that enough is enough to tell the Xi Jinping that he cannot continue dreaming that his dictatorial regime cannot go on. And at this point, as we speak, that Tibet must be opened up, and that is our key issue here. At the same time, I also would like to say a few words to Uyghur people, the people of Turkestan. As we stand with you in solidarity, we are extremely encouraged when the United Nations came out with the report last year and the actual face of the China was shown to the world. And we hope that you are able to bring peace and justice to your people, and we stand with you. And I would like to once again thank you so much for being here today on behalf of International Campaign for Tibet and to be able to be part of this very, very important gathering here. We have done this for 60 years, but even if it takes us 200 years, 300 years, Tibetan people will never give up, and we will make sure to our brothers and sisters inside Tibet, we are here with you. Pegelo!
Chiri Shambhala, Nitabani Katache, Haliva, Ani Kaloya Bononson, Aniti Gisela, Suben Tundu Tsupige, Kansani, and Sunkenaya Rendu.
Thank you very much, Sri Shambhala. Now I would like to invite the representative of the Swiss Tibetan Friendship Association, Mr. Jacques Hardar.
Tachidele, to all my sisters and brothers from Tibet, in Tibet and all over the world. I would like also to welcome our Uyghur friends who came today and to unite with us. Today I have the pleasure and the honor to speak to you on behalf of the SEST Geneva. We are an antenna of the GSTF Zurich. It is now more than a year that we built up this new association, and we have nearly 150 members now. We have organized many events to help the Swiss people understand the whereabouts of Tibet and of its people. I would like also to salute the representatives of the Tibet office, of the Tibetan Women Association, and of the Tibetan Youth Association in Europe. Today we see many turmoils which the Communist Party of China has to face. The most important of them is a great demonstration taking place in Hong Kong. The people of Hong Kong, which are here also with us today, are just asking for a democratic vote and democratic life. This shows to the world that the Communist Party cannot impose indefinitely their anti-democratic views. In all these reactions, we become aware that dialogue is the only way to understand each other and to try to find a pacific way to obtain changes. Nowadays, even inside the Chinese government, different voices rises to find a new way to settle this kind of crisis. It shows that on the long term, non-violence takes time to change the mentality of our governors, but in the end, the power of the people will prevail. We, of course, stand at the side together with our Taiwanese, Uyghurs, East Mongolian and Tibetan brothers and sisters. Regarding these matters, I would like to speak to you today about also our political prisoners, such as Tashi Wangchuk and all the others who are undergoing arbitrary and violent conditions in jail. In the past, we obtained the liberation of Tibetans such as Don Dupongchen or Tanak Jigme Sampo, and we shall always continue our struggle to set free as many innocent prisoners as we and all the support associations can do. It is a never-ending battle, but it is essential to keep the Earth community free. Now I would like to talk to you about a demonstration to which we, around 20 people, including 5-6 Tibetans, participated last Saturday in Lyon, France, during the flag parade through the city. At first, the organizer asked us not to parade because of China. There were about 20 different countries participating. So we asked India if we could work with them. Their answer was a big yes. So we followed them, and to our great surprise, the crowd cheered us loudly, and we were really proud to show the world the Tibetan flag. The Tibetan flag is really well known nowadays, so we have to use it as a force. At last, during this demonstration, we arrived at the end of the march wearing high our flags when we were asked again to put down our flag. The reason was that the Chinese delegation didn't want to walk in front of us. Anyway, we were rapidly surrounded by many Chinese security members who felt very uncomfortable in front of us because we were all very calm and friendly with them. This example shows that even the greatest power, when confronted to this kind of demonstration, shows rapidly its weakness. This is what is happening in Hong Kong nowadays. United we stand, and united we shall overcome. Let's all look forward to a better and more compassionate world. Pagalo.
Ti jisla ni susani pamet sobi gi choga ani nonjan la gani tangena reja ani peyorskya.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold, for your lovely speech. Now we would like to invite the Vice President, Mrs. Nonzumla, Tibetan Women's Organization Switzerland, to come here and give her speech.
Terini nyamde geso domi toptanki chochen ting shiju shenyi ba cho shimba thang tu ne thade phönangki domi nedan tho nyinrele made par jeshin jedu du doshimbe zaradu gyurthang gyurshimbe nedang dumbe thang nyamde geso la nyesen shube ki terinki legudir chedu dembe shube kunde kuzab tenje tang peri mimangi chozo sube zade chobe kuzab shunu kuzab sheya deye kunde number tang tering ki legu nyamshu yebe peri mima chitang pödön to gündu tunan tang gyabgyo nanggen ki chige miri number yongla zaze samdi shuju yin Tering nganso dikha zamling nyamde gesogi duntan tu zom guteni pögi denta sedabla zamling nyamde gesogi ngöne tugen shegöbe bögü shuru chawayin Tering par zamling nyamde gesogi ngöne gyana sishungi pö mirigi to doa mi topdan le yonsu gewe narjö tsele debatang geji timlu le gewe miri chembu tawe dushe sungde miri shenla tseshe tangtang tongshimbe nedang teda sikshintu tang senshintu masi makowe namba zude shubha teni chikne tene tenla pabe doa mi toptanki timi katang nine zamling nyamde geso dingi tsukgobe migi tang yongsu gyabge nang yoba te ngebar tu kengyoba yin lakbar tu debe tuyun tungtung shik nang ngaje su zamling ki gekap khangto yang chung manyong we loju ki kyokhar shikte doa mi topta thapse che pemi gyada ngapchule la ki ranglu merse nang gobe nedang chaye Tedabu yangawe tsene tang duzub chembe narje pota pokimbe zamling di doami chashe su tope phe miri ki netan la thempen dembe sikto nang matupar luba theni zamling gekap chitang laba do mi chi dedula genko sheken ki ming tabe nyamde geso dingne shena halebe ngotsa gobe nethen shik yinam changden tha rawa la gawe zamling mima ki migdun tu do mi chi de tap tang nethen to sikto nangken ki gekap kha ki zamling nyamde geso ki thumi nambe khong tu shube phe mimang ki thade yangawe nedang dita sikshin tu thang kenshin tu rang ki penjo ki keben chungse wang ki miri shen ki dedu kange la kese thang yangna miri shen ki dedu kange pamjo tu shokbe ngose wone rang ki penjo keben chungse tho thobrer jeyur nangshimbe chebab dila nyeja doa mi shigimbe chane hajang ki lobam chegi ye tene tade nganse mirigi yangawe zatra ki ngoye netang la tega zamling nyamde geso ki ngene changden ki gyabgyo themben dembashik nangwe thone phegi denda khangyo seyur regu shujuin tene nga ingenal des shuyaye. Today, we gathered here in urging the United Nations to resolve the issue of Tibet. For too long, the United Nations has turned a blind eye to the atrocities perpetrated by Chinese regime on fellow Tibetans who continue to suffer even to this day. This defeats the very principles it was founded on. It is ironic that while Chinese government is one of the important signatories to the UN Charter, it deprives basic rights to the Tibetan people. This illegal Chinese hegemony of Tibet has resulted in the deaths of over 1 million Tibetans. There is not one family in Tibet who has not been affected by Chinese brutality. Tibetans face severe penalties for expressing views that differs from those of the officials, no matter how moderate and mild. In addition, Chinese regime has destroyed thousands of monasteries, institutions with rich cultural repositories, and Tibet's natural environment. Tibet's environmental degradation bears serious consequences on global warming. The once beautiful and heavenly Tibet, where flora and fauna coexisted peacefully, has been stripped and destroyed. Tibet today is a vast concentration camp. It is a hell on earth. In recent years, over 150 Tibetans have burned themselves, demanding basic rights and freedom. Never in our long history have we suffered so much as we did for the past 60 years. And we continue to suffer under this dictatorial regime. Today, the People's Republic of China is ranked as one of the worst countries for human rights violations, yet it has not been convicted. On the contrary, with veto power, China dictates the United Nations, and no nation has opposed them for fear of retribution. Enough is enough. 60 years of unending suffering is a long time. Therefore, as the General Assembly is in session today, we stand here in solidarity with the courageous people of Tibet and strongly urge the United Nations to look into the following immediately. Number one, the United Nations must discuss the issue of Tibet based on the resolutions it has passed in 1959, 1961, and 1965 and make the concerted efforts in fulfilling these resolutions. Number two, appoint independent international fact-finding delegations to investigate the ongoing crisis in Tibet. Number 3, the United Nations must ensure that the basic aspirations of the Tibetans inside Tibet are fulfilled. Number 4, to bring China to the negotiating table with the representatives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and resolve the Tibetan issue once and for all. Today, we are witnessing the beginning of the end of an ancient civilization that has immense potential to contribute to the well-being of the humanity. And if the United Nations doesn't act fast, Tibet will be wiped out from the face of this earth. It is time for less rhetoric and more action. Therefore, we reiterate our commitment to stand up and speak up for the voiceless Tibetans in Tibet. Chinese government must know that we will not be cowed down. We will continue to nudge on the United Nations until the issue of Tibet is resolved. With the truth on our side, we will prevail and triumph. Long live His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Thank you.
Tujiche Nonzala, and it is Janagi Rami Toton Gikola, Shali Nonke, Secretary Kongi, Tata, and Hong Kong Kanga Tendi Kola, Tikola, Takorongi, Rami Toton Kola, and Tonkish Noise, and Korong Sente, Young Tau Mouse at Tirish.
Thank you, Nonzumla. Now I would like to invite Mr. Yong Tau Ma, representing Human Rights Watch, China.
Good afternoon, everybody. I see there are so many Tibetan people and so many viewer brothers and sisters. I'd like to thank you. Why I thank you? Because everybody fighting for your own human rights, fighting against the tyranny CCP. I want to thank all of you. Yeah. Today, I will take several minutes say something about Hong Kong. One of the most important financial centers, Hong Kong, needs your help. You know, Chinese government and the English government co-signed the Sino-British Declaration. The Chinese government promised one country, two systems. Keep the Hong Kong system for about 50 years. So, in 1997, British government delivered Hong Kong to China. Thereafter, CCP has been changing the policy in Hong Kong gradually. They want to transplant the dictatorial socialism policy to Hong Kong thoroughly. As you know, the CCP carried out socialistic system in mainland of China for 70 years. As everybody knows, that in the past 70 years under the CCP's ruling, they launched so many times of a political movement, such as land reform, Great Leap, Cultural Revolution, and the famous Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989, caused tens of millions of Chinese civilians to die. The CCP distorted all the history in the textbook and blocked every foreign social media, such as Google, Twitter, Facebook, and so on, in order to brainwash the Chinese people. In all of these years, more than 1 billion of the Chinese people have no freedom of election, no freedom of demonstration, no freedom of speech, no freedom of association. All of the human rights were deprived by CCP. In 1989, a lot of students and citizens held a magnificent peaceful demonstration on Tiananmen Square. CCP hired a lot of thugs to disguise as the demonstrators to attack the policemen, so as to make cause for them to smear the demonstration as counter-revolutionary, and mobilized the formal troops to shoot at the unarmed demonstrators. They killed more than 10,000 students and citizens. Supported by CCP, Hong Kong government want to enact an extradition law. Hong Kong people don't want to be treated as the people in mainland China. So, more than 2 million citizens out of the total population of 7 million in Hong Kong have been demonstrating from June till now. The Hong Kong police officer used rubber bullets and tear gas and pepper spray and beanbag round to suppress the demonstrators fiercely. Caused numerous people injured, some even to be injured to blind. Several young people even suicide because of the depression and desperation. And China government want to repeat the evil conspiracy they have ever used in 1989. Let some thugs disguised as demonstrators to set fire and attack police. Then they make full propaganda to smear the demonstrators as mobs. At the same time, some netizens said on the social media that the CCP's troop assembled at Shenzhen, which is opposite to Hong Kong. The truth is, there are no mobs, but tyranny. We believe that the power of the people is more stronger than people in power. Thank you. So, we must overthrow Chinese Communist Party. We must overthrow Xi Jinping, the dictator. We must overthrow them. Thank you. Thank you. Bravo!
Thank you, Mr. Yang Tama. 아니 디지슬라 캠베노에렌데 타긴 타가나긴 아니 페바다 요거는 냠다다 고조 셰가셰간 와셰진 아니.
Thank you, Mr. Yong Tao Ma. Keep continuing with your Hong Kong issue. Keep informing us about it, please. Now we would like our people to shout slogans. So if you would just get up, Permisoya Shandrona slogan, and then followed by also Are You Good Friends?
We demand human rights. We demand human rights. We demand human rights. It's release. 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 Release all the political prisoners. Release all the political prisoners. Long live. Long live. Long live. Let the Dalai Lama. Let the Dalai Lama. Stop the killing. Stop the killing. Stop the killing.
In Tibet!
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 Stop the torturing.
In Tibet!
Stop the torturing.
In Tibet!
Shame on Chinese government.
Shame! Shame!
Shame on Chinese government.
Shame! Shame!
Shame on Chinese government.
Shame! Shame!
United Nations.
Wake up! Wake up!
United Nations.
Wake up!
Nations.
Wake up! Wake up!
United Nations.
Wake up! Wake up!
United Nations.
Wake up! Wake up!
Shame on Chinese government.
Shame! Shame!
Shame on Chinese government.
Shame! Shame! Which one? Long live! Long live! Long live! Human rights! Human rights! Freedom! Freedom! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! Tibet is burning! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! Release all political prisoners! Release all political prisoners! We want We want. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to. We demand human rights. We demand human rights. Touché, Pagalo, Pagalo.
Yani Uygurlar erkinlik.
Uygurlar erkinlik.
Freedom for Uyghurs.
Freedom for Uyghurs.
Şark Türkistan erkinlik.
Free East Turkestan.
Free East Turkestan. Xitay cezalagırın taka.
China closed the internment camps.
Bizden ballarımız nerede?
Where are our children?
Bizden o ata-analarımız nerede?
Where are our parents?
Bizden o ata-analarımız nerede?
Where are our brothers?
Where are our brothers? Bizden o ata-singillerimiz nerede?
Where are our sisters?
Bizden kıyırındaşlarımız nerede?